Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Kemisinola Afwakwe. Would you like to know how to make this stylish pinafore dress with multiple style line and flare? But before we jump into today's tutorial, do you know this channel has beginners friendly tutorial videos that will teach you how to cut and sew beautiful wears? Why don't you click the subscribe button below and put on your notification so as to be notified when I upload new videos. Thank you. For today's tutorial, I'll be needing this pattern paper, pins, 2 pairs of scissors, eraser, pencil, a measuring tape, a pattern curve, today's measurement, and this beautiful black crepe material. I got 2.5 yards. So let's put everything aside so we can start today's tutorial. Lay your pattern paper out flat. These are the measurements you'll be needing: our full length, half length, shoulder, bust, waist, hip, and the under bust. Start by laying our pattern paper out flat like this. From the top of the pattern paper, I'm going to be measuring our bust line. I'm using 9 for the bust line. Our half length is 17 inches. Our half length is 17 inches. The full length is 34 inches plus 1 for hemming. That's 35 inches. Mark it on the other side. 9 inches for the bust line, 17 inches for the half length, and 34 plus 1 for hemming for the full length. Now you roll this out. After doing this, the next thing to do is to measure your under bust and the hip line. From the top of your pattern paper again, you measure 13.5 inches downward. For me, it is 13.5. For you, you have to measure your under bust measurement. And then from your half length to get your hip line. To get your hip line, I measured 8.5 downwards. This is after putting my measuring tape on my waist to locate my hip line. That's the fullest part of my body downwards. That's my hip. So to locate it, I measured 8.5 from the waistline. So here I'm labeling it so we can be able to easily identify them so as not to make any mistake. The next thing to do now is to get the measurement for our shoulder. Our shoulder for this tutorial, mine is 15 inches, but I minused 3 inches from it. I minused 2 inches from the 15 inches to give me 13 inches. So that 13 divided by 2 is 6.5. I'll come again. From your shoulder measurement, minus 2 inches, whatever you have left, divide it by 2, and then place that on the pattern paper. Mine is 6.5 inches. So I'm going to rule from the top of the pattern paper down to my bust line. Then I'm going to come down 1 inch from the shoulder line, because since our shoulder is not straight, it is slanted. So I came down by 1 inch. And then to get our neckline, I'm using 4 inches here. I'm going to measure this to the under bust. If you can notice from the video earlier on, you can see our neckline started from the under bust. So I'm just going to measure that down, and I will rule from the top of my pattern paper down to my under bust. And I'm going to roll it down to the under bust. Now I have to curve this to get the neckline, but I'm going to curve it to 2 inches, not all the way down, because here is 4 inches. So I'm going to measure 2 inches firstly. This is going to have like 4 style lines for the front. So for each side 4 style lines, I measure 2 inches. I'm going to curve from the bust line to 2 inches. Just what I'm doing. See what I'm doing? I'm going to be using my free hand to curve from the bust line to the 2 inches on the under bust. Now we slant our shoulder. I'm using the marker so you can see it properly. Also marking out the neckline so it could be more visible. So after that, the next thing to do is to mark out our bust, our waist, our hip. Our bust divided by 4 is 8.5. I'm going to mark that there. Our waist divided by 4 is 7. And our hip divided by 4 is 9 inches. I'm going to be marking this same 9 inches on the M line, on the full length, because I just want to make it straight. Mind you, this is going to be having a 4 style line. I'm going to shape that out from the hip firstly to the M line. I don't like using ruler for the side of my dresses, because a human body is contoured. So I'm just going to be using my free hand to curve that out. Firstly from the bust line to the waist. Just see what I'm doing gradually. Then bring it from the waist to the hip line. You see how it is? This is how a woman body is. It's not straight, it's not sharp, it's contoured. So I'll be using my marker to make that more visible. And now we have to shape our armhole. You know, we have 8 there now. So I'm going to be marking 8 divided by 2, that is 4. I'm going to be coming down from the 4, ½ inch inward. Then we'll be curving our armhole from there. I'll be using my pattern curve to curve that. You could also use your free hand if you wish. Just make it precise. So that's that for our pattern. Now we want to divide our pattern into 4. So now I'm going to be taking that 2 inches from the under bust down to the hemline. The 2 inches we used in curving our neckline the other time, I'll mark the 2 inches down to the hemline. Then I'm going to take my ruler and rule that straight down. Make sure your ruler is well placed. After that, as you can see, the other 2 inches that is left from our neckline curve, we'll take that down also. 2 inches, 2 inches also at the hemline. Now I'll be taking my ruler to rule that down to the hemline. As you can see, out of 4, we've gotten 2 style lines. Now on the hemline, I'm going to measure what is remaining. I have 5 inches remaining. I'll be dividing that by 2 to give me 2.5 inches, 2.5 inches. Then I mark that on the hip line too. I'm measuring what I have left on the shoulder. I can see I have 2.5 inches there. On the waistline, I marked 2 inches. So from the 4 inches that we divided on our shoulder, on our armhole, that's where I'm going to be ruling down. I'm not going to be ruling down from the shoulder slanting. I'm going to be ruling down from the armhole that we divided. You know our armhole is 8. We divided 8 into 2, 4 to get our armhole curving. Now I'm going to take my ruler from there and rule straight down to the 2.5 inches that we have on the hemline. Just watch what I'm doing. You're gonna get it. So you should have this on your pattern paper now. This is the neckline that will be cutting out. We don't need that part. So I'm labeling the pattern paper 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now this is all for our pattern drafting for our Pinafore dress. We'll cut this out. Cut out carefully with your paper scissors. Make sure you cut out precise and carefully. So we'll be using this same pattern paper for our back. This is the front. Here I am arranging them on the table. So we'll be cutting 2 of each with 1/2 inch all around the pattern paper. Mind you, this is a Pinafore dress with flare. From the waistline downwards, there's going to be 4.5 inches on both sides. 4 inches for the flare and then 1/2 inches for the joining. So we are cutting 2 pieces, we are going to be folding our fabric when we cut this. We are cutting 2 each for the left and the right side of our dress. So from the top of the pattern paper down to the waist is 1/2 inch. From that downwards is 4 inches on both sides. So this is our pattern paper. I'm trying to align them waist so the waist can match each other. The hip also can align and the bust line. So this is our pattern paper. This is for the front. When I'm cutting for the back neckline is going to be a little bit higher than the front neckline. The back neckline is going to start from the bust line. You know, the front neckline started from the under bust. Our back neckline is going to be 4.5 inches. That's what I'm measuring out there. It's going to be 4.5 inches higher than the front neckline. Note the front neckline is going to be lower than the back neckline. So now I'm going to be measuring half inch upward on all pattern, and then 4.5 downwards on all pattern, so as to achieve our flay. So right here, since we are cutting two pieces each with each pattern paper, I will fold my crepe material, place the number 1 on it, so as not to waste material. I'm measuring 9 inches. I'm measuring 9 inches, 4.5 for each side. 4 plus 4, that's 8, plus half, that's 1, that's making 9 inches. So as for us to save material, that's what I'm trying to get there. After measuring, I'm going to pin down my pattern paper. I'll show you how to cut number 1 and number 2, and then this is me measuring half inch here, half inches. Then on the down part, I'm going to be measuring 4.5 inches. Mind you, 4 for the flay and then half inches for the joining. So now I'm going to take my pattern curve to rule that out. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. 4.5 from our half on the waistline. Take your pattern curve to rule that out. Then you cut out. Just do exactly what I am doing here, so as to achieve your flay. Now I'll be measuring 4 inches at the top part of the pattern paper too, because that will be for our piping later on. So this is how number 1 is going to be. I'm doing the same thing for number 2. Measured 9 inches there, pin down my pattern. On the waistline, measured half on both sides, all around, from the waistline upward. Then after the waistline, I went to the hem line, measured 4.5 inches on both sides, rule that out. Rule that out on both sides. That's all. Then cut out. So you're going to do this for 3 and 4 also, and that will be all for the front. Mind you, the back neckline is higher than the front neckline. Don't forget to notch your waist and important lines. Now I have cut out the 1. I showed you how I made the 1, also the 2. I went ahead to cut 3 and 4, 2 pieces each, and I also notched all the important areas. 4.5 inches on both sides. That's number 1. This is number 2. I'm so sorry that my camera can't take up the upper part. That's number 2. Number 3. And number 4. On the 4th one, by the side, I added 1 inch, not half inches, because that will stand as our sewing allowance. So I added 1 inch, not half inch, on the side of so now to cut the back, I explained the other time, the back is higher, 4.5 inches higher than the front neckline. So our back is going to be starting from the bust line, not from the under bust. The fourth and the third pattern are going to be cut alike. Nothing changes from the front and the back. Where the changes comes in is on the number 1 and number 2 pattern. On the number 1, we are going to be coming up by 4.5 inches. And on the second one, we'll be coming up by 4.5 inches also, and then curving it from the bust line. The center part is also going to be cut on fold. That will be our zipper line. Also, I went ahead to cut this strap for the piping of the neckline and the armhole. Don't forget the side of your number 4 is 1 inches. I've gone ahead to cut the back pieces. Same way, I did 4.5 inches, 4.5 inches. Apologies that my camera is not showing the neckline. I was trying to explain here how I was able to achieve the neckline for the back pieces. Mind you, the number 3 and the number 4 pattern paper is exactly the same thing as the front one. The only difference is number 1 and number 2. So now I'll take it to my sewing machine and join with 1/2 inches all around, both the front and the back. But for the back pieces, the number 1, we are going to leave it open for zipper allowance. I'm not going to join that part. So after joining the front, this is how the front should look like after joining them together. This is after joining the whole 8 pieces of fabric together. As you can see the flare, it's very full. And this is the wrong side. I've gone ahead to press open all same. Make sure your pattern paper is beside you when you are making this dress so as not to make any mistake. This is our neckline. This is going to be as deep as from our under bust. And this is our back Pinafore dress. The open seam is where the zipper will be. And this is the right side. I've also gone ahead to press upon the seam and also pressed on the right side. That's our neckline. The flare is very, very full because we added 4 inches. So now the next thing to do now is to take this to my sewing machine and join the shoulder, also join the side seam together. That's after putting my zipper. join the shoulder with 1/2 inches, both shoulder with 1/2 inches. Also add my zipper with 1/2 inches and then join my side seams with 1 inches. Remember we added 1 inches when we were cutting. Use the 1/2 there to join the zipper. Use 1/2 to join your shoulder too. So after joining my shoulder, after joining the zipper, adding the zipper, this is how the dress came out. I also used 1 inch to join the side seam and used 1/2 inches to join the shoulders together. You can see how beautiful this dress is already looking. I'm really so happy with the outcome. This is very beautiful, and the flay on at the down part is also very full. You can add 5 inches, you can add 4 inches. It depends on how full you want it to be. I really love the outcome of this dress. So happy. So now for the zipper, I noticed if I had used 1 inch, the back would have been open, it won't be firm, and that won't be nice. So instead of using 1 inch, instead of using 1/2 inch, I used 1 inch for the upper part of the zipper, then slanted it into the 1/2 that we were supposed to use. So that way the zipper at the upper part is going to be firm and it's not going to be opened. For this, the dress needs to be firm. So that's what I did with the zipper part. So now the next thing to do is to go back to our sewing machine and use this 2.5 width strap that we cut out from the remaining material that will be used to pipe the armhole and the neckline of our pinafore dress. So what we are going to do is pipe it in and out from the inner to the outer part. So as you can see, from the armhole, I'm placing the material, the strap. This is just basically how you do your bias. So you just fold in out, not from the outer part in, from the inner you sew inner and then you pipe outward. So you do the same thing for the neckline too. So after doing the armhole, I've not done the neckline here, just the armhole. You can see how beautiful the dress turned out to be. You can see the back too, how firm it's looking because we used 1 inch. Now after piping the neckline too, we've done the armhole, we've done the neckline. We're almost done with our dress. It's just remaining 1 more step and then we'll be done. See how full the pinafore dress is looking. I'm really happy with how this came out. I'm really happy. You didn't even notice the invisible zip that we kept at the back. The next step is now to fold our hemline with 1 inches that we added for hemming the other time, and that's all.